You're listening to the Elevated News Podcast with two dope dudes. Here are your hosts, Dave and Aaron.
Welcome to the Elevated News Podcast with two dope dudes. We are a podcast focused on discussing local and national cannabis news and culture. I'm sitting here with my friend Aaron.
That's me.
And I am David.
And we're the two dope dudes.
Look at us go.
Yeah.
Woo woo!
We're doing a video episode.
You're fine. You can see us now.
Look.
You'll get to see me be ridiculous.
Yep, pretty much. Which is the best part of it. Honestly, some of the most fun I have is just sitting and recording with you.
100%.
And just laughing our asses off.
And we'll get to watch it
Yep.
again.
Yep. Always check my stories for funny things that I find because it's the best.
You can always find us at the Elevated News Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all your other favorite streaming and podcast apps at Two Dope Dudes.
YouTube channel. Yeah.
Hey, that's where you're going to see us right there. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Please give a like and leave a review. This helps us reach more people. You can find us on supportdopepeople.com. Supportdopepeople.com. Have you checked it out yet?
You should.
If you haven't, you need to.
Yeah. Go sign up. Get on the email list. Request stickers. Shout out to who did I get stickers from this weekend? I got stickers from Goat Genetics. Hung out with Goat.
All right, let's go, Goat.
And RF Canna gave me a bunch of Aurora Cannabis Club stickers, so I'm going to be sending those out.
Awesome.
Yeah, you should definitely go to supportdopepeople.com. Check us out there. Sign up for the newsletter. We're going to start sending that out probably next month. I got somebody to put that together for me and help out with that, so that's good. Things are moving. And you can always email us with at twodopedudespodcast@gmail.com for all your questions or things you want us to talk about. And check me out on the Growers Hangout with Marky Love, love_green_culture on Instagram. And he's my co-host for the Growers Hangout podcast. And you will probably see that on this channel. And there is a Growers Hangout channel that's coming on YouTube. You
should listen to these guys. I just got to smell Marky's latest products, and holy cow, Marky. Keep that up, pal.
Yeah.
You're doing good things.
Terps over everything, taste over everything. We just were at the outdoor event this weekend where he sponsored the Stoner Olympics, and it was great. And, a lot of people came through his table, and, I think he sold out of pre-orders and orders.
Had a boy,
it was all around good time for him, and shout out to him. Shout out to Goat for winning downstate some #1 award this weekend. Shout out to Chicago Canna Co, DeKalb. That was a great event. There's probably a couple thousand people that came through. It was amazing.
Awesome.
It was amazing.
That's so cool.
So much better in that grass down there and not on concrete all day.
Yeah.
Infinitely better.
That's so cool. I'm glad. I'm sorry I was.
No, I got you to 1 or 2, I think. I got you to 2.
Yeah.
I got you to 2. And then, of course, crapculture.net. Use the code Growers Hangout for a little extra love for our friends at Crap Culture. Let me tell you, get that December box.
Get it.
Get the October box, too. But that December box is awesome. And if you're looking for a gift for a friend, if you're looking for a gift for somebody who grows in your life, except Mom, don't get it because I'm already getting one. I'm just saying because I know my mom she'd be like, I'll go get one right now. Shout out to my mom as well for coming to the outdoor thing. But cropculture.net, use code Growers Hangout. A little extra love from our friend Chris at Crop Culture. Check it out. It's a really good value. Yeah, he's doing cool things. Shout out to him. Support dope people. And then Dave, you got some stuff to plug, right?
If you don't mind, you can check me out at Peace, Love, and Cope. On YouTube. I have only been streaming there on Thursdays lately because I intend on switching some things up. I would like to help you all take your health back into your own hands using this plant that we all love very greatly. There are properties and aspects of it that some of us discredit because of our personal experiences with it, and we just don't know that there might be something more to it. And you're perfectly fine. If it's working fine, it's fine, but there is plenty of extra benefits sometimes, and I hope that I can point that out for you.
Yeah, I love telling people about you. I always tell people, like, my co-host Dave used to run, medical dispensaries, and like once he was done with that, like he started streaming on YouTube at like 10 o'clock in the morning to help older people with their questions and help them, blast off and understand their health, and it's super awesome. I've met some cool people very recently that I might have even said this on the last podcast or two, I don't know. But like once you meet somebody who has that, like, they understand, like I met you, and like the passion that you have for like helping people with medical stuff and cannabis, and you meet those people, it's really cool. It's really empowering. It's really, it really makes you want to do something more. You know what I mean? It's the power of the plant.
I'm telling you,
I don't want to go work at a dispensary and help people that way, because
no.
that sounds terrible. But
it is terrible.
Like the retail aspect of it.
It's brutal, and it destroys the passion of things. But and I promise you, when I first got into the cannabis industry, I didn't have the respect that I do now for the plant.
Right.
It took me watching literally thousands of people coming through to be, well, I mean, I was far before that, but I was like, holy shit, this thing isn't just the fuck it all, which is a beautiful aspect of the
best
plant.
The best part of the plant.
Are arguably the best.
Most boring, though, scientifically.
But as far as what we're, the anatomical and physiological benefit that this thing can give to us in regulating some of the systems that are already part of our body. I mean,
we have a natural endocannabinoid system.
Correct.
Just like I'm just repeating what you say. Just like when you take vitamins because you may or may not be deficient. Doesn't mean you're deficient in all of them, but you take them to make sure everything is running smoothly and to help balance it. And the same with CBD and your endocannabinoid system. That's what it's for. It's vitamins, basically.
And so you almost nail it perfectly. This thing isn't necessarily, the medical aspect of it isn't necessarily for everybody. If the fuck it all aspect of it is working perfectly for you, that's perfectly fine. But the second that you get diagnosed as something, or you yourself seem deficient, or you feel like you're not all the way comfortable, that's when maybe look at the other aspects of this plant. And even later on in the show, we got a great little portion we'll talk about that shines light on the excess cannabinoids and something that they're capable of that isn't just your everyday fuck it all.
Yep.
So thank you.
Yeah. Check Dave out. It's fun. It's one of the things that you'll usually find me Thursday night in the live stream, hanging out, being a mod. Not that we have to mod much, but
we
not anymore.
Thursdays have been a little bit more fun. We play a little bit of games, and we like to laugh, because honestly, laughter's good medicine too.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
It sure is.
Right.
So let's, so check it out. Those are our plugs. Again, we're here at the LilBean Studios in St. Charles.
Thanks for letting us use the spot. It's dope. It's super cool.
Super dope. And, shout out to Mr. CB and Charlie and Rochelle, as always. You're amazing. So let's go on to support dope people. 5 questions with Mike Insco from Green Grow. He's the Green Grow rep, Green Grow Biologicals, and GROWBETTERCHICAGO.com. And he's somebody I've met here in the community, and he does all natural organic farming. He was a head back in the day, used to procure things, moved to Michigan, had a farm, does things all organically, and it was super fun. Here on YouTube, it was cool.
I don't know that I've met Mike personally,
but he's super cool.
Just listening, and it's a minute and 18 seconds. You talk through it too, but that guy, you could tell just in that short clip, he knows what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. And then actually, let me pull up GrowBetterChicago.com. Sorry about that. I should have thought about that.
Oh no, you're
beforehand. And so we can shout out. So he besides being the Green Grow Biologicals rep for Illinois, he helps people grow medical cannabis, virtual consultations, setups, all sorts of things. Check him out, GrowBetterChicago.com. Mike 10, if you want to use that on Green Grow, and you can get 10% off. I just used a flower finisher in my tent and some of the bricks, so it's going well. But yeah, shout out Mike Insco, GROWBETTERCHICAGO.com. You can check him out. He's also got links to get your medical card, and it says he's been growing cannabis since 2005, and I smoke some, and it's dope. Yeah, shout out to him.
He looks like he might know what the hell he's talking
Yeah,
about.
he definitely looks like he knows what he's talking about.
I only said that because he kind of has the same appeal as I do. I don't know. Longer hair, big beard.
Yeah, actually, so Green Grow does some cool stuff, and one of their memes is like meet the rep, but the rep, looks like somebody else. They're like, who's better, Jerry Garcia or Mike Insco? And he's like, he kind of looks like Jerry Garcia, man.
He does kind of have the Jerry thing going.
He's not that old, but
right.
Yeah, just had shout out, just had a baby. Shout out to him and his wife.
Mike.
He's
That's
super
so
happy.
Cool. That's so cool.
Yeah. So, and then, so now here we are, episode 16. Dudes are back. We got a couple comments from my mom. It's only been out a day, so usually we have a little bit more time. But since we're behind,
she got stickers.
Yeah,
That's
my mom got
awesome.
the stickers, and then the idea to journal.
I beg you all again, in your journey with cannabis, if you're trying to use this thing as more than just a fuck it all, consider journaling, consider writing things down.
Yeah, you got to keep
especially
track.
if you're new to cannabis. It's the best way to keep yourself in line too.
Yeah, if you're doing edibles, something like that, write it down. How am I feeling? I took this much. How did I feel later?
What did I eat for the
sleep?
day?
Yeah.
Because there is a ton that goes into the thing. Our digestion has a lot more to play with it than whether or not it's 5 milligrams or indica or sativa or whatever we.
Right.
Our digestion is a huge portion of this.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just like when they say doing psychedelics, they recommend fasting. It allows your stomach not to get upset. It also allows it to digest quicker and faster. Say drink water. These are all kind of the same things with, edibles, cannabis edibles or hemp edibles. Just take care of your body and get it ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who was I? I want to say they had Crohn's or IBS or something, but if they did not eat before eating edibles, it seemed like it just never took hold. But if they had food in their system, because their body was trying to get through digesting whatever it was able to then get the edibles in better. So I forgot what I swear it was maybe IBS, but she said she said I'll eat a sandwich every time or whatever, something before I get the thing into my system.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I eat I'll be like, oh, I'm super hungry and it's lunchtime, but I need to eat an edible for later, so I'll just do both. Sometimes I'll eat it on empty, It's all right. It's all right. The ones Bob had, oh man, I wish you could taste these. They taste like bubble yum. It's supposed to be orange pineapple smoothie flavored, and it is, but it also tastes like bubble yum.
Oh, it sounds so good.
It's so good. So, let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's get into that. So we're in. It is now Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Tuesday the 17th, and Dave has not consumed cannabis
since last Thursday.
Since the 5th.
Yes.
Since the 5th of October. So it's been almost 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we talked last time. So how are you feeling? And don't say fine.
I miss cannabis in some respects, and I'm feeling better with my throat clearing cough thing, which was the main reason I stopped doing this to begin with.
Yep.
But I feel like that has calmed down a ton.
I think so too.
It's definitely beneficial.
Okay.
I have been dreaming more though, and I hate that.
Yeah.
I am not one for the dreams. I tend to I have like a lot of running away, falling down, authoritarian type things where it's always like, I don't know why I'm running from shit in my dreams, but I do it a lot. So cannabis has always helped me with that. I'm pretty sure I have like a vertigo thing.
Okay.
I can't be on swings for very long. I get motion sickness from video games. So there's a lot of that thing that goes on, and I wonder if that has to do with my dreams, because a lot of times I'm like on this really big slope or something, and I'm always like, oh shit, I'm gonna fall down that, or like, how do I get back up this thing, or whatever. I don't know if it has to do with the way that the brain plays anyway, but
have you had your ears checked lately?
No.
You should have your ears checked. Go to an ENT. Have your ears checked.
Actually, I need to set up an appointment with my ENT anyway, because I'm feeling good. You know what? I have been. I think I told you this too. I've been losing weight pretty good lately. I'm crediting a decent. Well, there's two things, right? One, I listened to a guy who said, "Listen, a donut is 300 calories."
Yep.
And to walk off 100 calories, you have to walk a mile. And I'm so lazy. In my brain, I'm like, it's so much easier for me to think, don't pick up that fucking donut, than it is to be like, I'll eat that donut, but now I have to go walk 3 miles. So I'm just like, okay, I've shut down a lot of kind of maybe the bad things.
Yeah.
But also, I promise you, this cold thing that I'm doing in the shower, I think that's burning it, dude.
100%.
I got on the scale the other day, 215. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my God, I haven't been 215 pounds in like 5 years, 10 years, whatever. And then the other day, I was like, I ate McDonald's in the morning. I was eating a bunch of shit. I'm slamming bottles of water. I jumped on a scale, 211. I'm like, bro, this is like 5 days later. There's no way I'm dropping this much weight this fast without something going on. And I'm not. I'm living my average life.
You want to do a cryo after this?
Yeah, maybe. That'd be all right.
Let's do it. The cryo place is right over here. We can go in. It's our first time. We'll get a discount. 2 minutes minus 220. You know what I'm saying? 1:30. You're gonna go in there like a soldier. You're gonna put on a song. You're gonna listen to Spinal Meningitis or Bananas and Blow or whatever. We'll put on some Primus, Sailing the Seas of Cheese, whatever you need. Get through it. Do some punches and we'll be better. It'll be cool. But
so
cold shock proteins are great. Let's go, Ricky.
Let's go, Rick.
Let's go, Rick. Rick Wysocki.
Good W.
Yeah, good win, Rick. I'm sure because the whole world watches. 7 billion, 8 billion people.
Right.
Rick Wysocki. Right. Let's go, dude.
Right.
Let's go.
Right.
You're the winner. You got what, like $35,000?
$40K.
$40K. Let's go.
Something like that.
Big money, Missy.
Big money.
Big money, Missy.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's fire. Gannon with the cannon, bro.
This has been Disc Golf Talk with Aaron and Dave. Although we do have, we need to do, I'm not going to say that live, but we have some, I had an idea earlier this summer about some content we could do with disc golf and smokins.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean,
yeah, I know. So
no, but I've been feeling really good.
Good.
Like I said, I've dropped the weight.
Yep.
I brought up the dropping the weight thing because I can't wait to get into my ENT. I want to hit him up and be like, hey man, I'm ready for that other appointment you wanted me to come into.
Have your ears checked.
Now I'm 30 pounds lighter.
Yeah, vertigo is sucks and like spins and stuff like that. Just make sure you're maybe you just need your ear. Maybe you got your balance, your equilibrium's off. Just check it out.
They can fix that shit.
Yeah, they can fix that stuff.
Bro.
I used to get spins a lot as a kid and stuff.
Bro.
I had my tonsils out. I had my tubes in my ears. I had my adenoids out.
I get a lot of, like if I've been down for too long, I stand up, I get the whoa.
Yeah, a lot of people get that.
Okay.
The trick to that is that when you feel that way, flex your muscles, like your stomach muscles. And what it does is it forces the blood up and you won't feel dizzy anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
We're learning all kinds of
all kinds of stuff.
Are you guys listening?
Write this down. In your
Journal.
Yeah.
Oh, golly. We said journal at the same time.
I know.
Look at us go.
I know. So, yeah.
No, I recommend everybody at least every once in a while, no matter what, take a little tolerance break.
And you're feeling better. Mentally,
I feel so good.
Mentally, how are you dealing with things that would normally stress you out? I know you have a lot less stress, but I know there's some things that, obviously you're still going to get stressed out about. How's driving?
Fine. Fine. I have a problem with driving anyway.
You and I.
We're doing a 3-dimensional thing in a 2-dimensional space, and people are just not aware of themselves to begin with, so it gets even worse when we're mixing dimensions, you know.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot better now that I don't ride a motorcycle anymore. When you're riding a motorcycle, you just have to assume everybody's trying to kill you, so you get super aggressive, defensive. You know what I mean? It's not always great, but yeah.
There's a lot of like I'm like, get out of my way, and then I come pulling around, and like people are like, texting on their phone, or
get off your phone.
Just putting makeup on in the mirror. That's what I'm doing typically.
Like,
when you drive past
you
me.
know, if you're doing something, whatever, momentary lapse, fine. But like, it's the people who are just like, and just like getting in other people's way, and it's just like, just get out of people's way.
Just get out of the way. I was on the highway yesterday. I went to pick up my brother from the airport.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
How?
I used to do that every day.
How do people go 50 miles an hour while everybody else is going 70 or 80?
They don't care. They're real American heroes.
Or are you just are people really that scared?
Yes.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
Because like, I drove with my mother. She's like, "Let me go with." Okay, fine. But on the way out, she literally, we were coming onto a on ramp, and she covered her eyes.
290 because you went.
I was like, "Ma,
to get on Indiana.
Yeah. She like literally covered her eyes. I can't watch this. I'm like, what in the hell
are you talking about?
I'm
Yeah.
driving.
Yeah,
you're gonna be all right.
Yeah, and like, you and I driving by ourselves is a lot different than somebody else, because somebody else does not have the ability to control their situation, so you have to be in control of the situation. So when I'm driving with somebody, I generally tend to drive a little bit nicer. You've driven with me.
You're correct.
Down to disc golf, and
Correct.
I was like, you know, I can go, but like, all right, I have to make sure, because I have other people in the car, and
I am,
you know.
Yes. I do not like sitting passenger in the vehicle most of the time. I get a
Agreed.
little bit scared of things sometimes and whatever, but
You're one of the few people I'll like hop in with.
bingo.
Yeah.
That's there are a few that I allow the situation to happen with, but no, I
Feeling fine mentally, physically, you're doing great. Disc golf's great.
It's wild. I have, through this experience, at least 4 or 5 times justified in a very reasonable way why I could have picked up cannabis again and used it as an alleviant of the situation. And most of those 4 out of the 5 were mental. It's my fuck it all, right? I miss having that thing to go fuck it all, but it feels really good to be able to handle some of these situations now and go, okay, I'm capable of overcoming that little initial anxiety or whatever it is. Especially sometimes we respond way too fucking fast, right? We're triggered almost, and me personally, I just want to get away from being so triggered. I want to slow down my thoughts and make sure I'm in the right space. But that's what I'm saying. Cannabis helps me do that a lot. So I've been missing that a little bit.
You know, it's nice to be able to make the choice that you're not going to, because I've done that as well. I've gone years, I've gone months, no cannabis. But in fact, a part of me wanted to do it with you.
Yeah.
And then just do it longer than you. Yeah. But then I was like, I don't want to.
No, and
I was like, nah, I don't want to. I got too much going on right now.
The other day when I felt it the most, I was justifying it the most. It's okay. I can reconsume cannabis right now, and I'm perfectly fine.
I did it. It's good enough.
There was a part of my brain that was like, but if I start now, then the time, like my time is done, right? Like now I would have to restart not smoking again to get to this long.
And that sucks.
So I am going to hold off.
Yeah.
I've been contemplating just pushing all the way through October.
You should. I think you should. I mean, I said that before. I was like, just go a whole month.
Sober October.
Just go a whole month. You don't drink anyway. I don't think I've ever seen you drink.
No.
I think if you know, you might have a beer once in a great while or something.
I would probably have a Tutti Frutti drink or a glass of wine. I mess with that every once in a while.
Maybe some CBD wine would be nice.
Ooh, child.
Yeah, check that out. Shout out to Mr. CBD Chicago.
Behind us. Let's go.
Took care of my mom this weekend. She came to the outdoor thing. I brought her and my stepdad Larry over there. They bought some wine and some hemp pasta. It was really cool. She picked up some lotions, went over to AM/PM. Yeah, shout out to those people.
That's awesome. Let's go.
Just reminded me of stuff because we got that CBD wine behind us.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Mr.
those
CBD.
guys.
Thank you, sir.
Man, I'm really glad. Yeah, you got this. You're.
No, and now that I'm,
Yeah.
publicly saying it, it probably makes sense that I have to now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Cool. So,
Yeah.
not till November.
Sober October, baby.
Sober October. You'll be okay. Have you tried so what about like some CBD and you said you're not consuming cannabis, but now what about CBD? Are you just trying to get back to whatever your
Completely
body's
flush
normal?
my system.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And that's, I was actually thinking about this the other day. I wonder if you needed to have cannabis out of your system, if cold shocking wouldn't be a bad means of making that happen.
It does help with burning fat cells.
That's what I'm saying.
Cold shock and heat shock proteins.
So
yeah, that would definitely help.
yeah,
1,000,000%.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you know what? I should go home and take a dollar store drug test and see if I pass for marijuana.
Yeah, why not?
Why the fuck not? It's a good idea.
Why not?
Actually,
Hell yeah.
for science.
For science.
She blinded me with science.
Awesome. Let's get on to some news.
Bring it on.
I'm glad you're feeling better. I'm
Thank you.
Fully in support of Sober October for you, and I can't wait to be in the live stream this week and hear you tell me why I should continue using cannabis while you are not using cannabis. No, you and I talked about that personally, and I think it's like super important, and you thought it was as well. Like obviously, I think it's super awesome. Like to be a sober person and say, "Hey, cannabis can help you."
I still advocate this.
You know what I'm saying?
100%. Right.
So.
Right.
All right, on to the news. This is out of Crystal Lake, Cary. McHenry County State's Attorney responds to marijuana mom's claims. Now, we talked about this a few podcasts ago. I think we touched on it, that up in McHenry County, the dispensaries are going to have all these health warnings about don't take edibles, it leads to psychosis, and blah, 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 blah. And so this article says that the McHenry County State's Attorney has responded to the marijuana moms, a group of former and current lawmakers, after they called them out for forcing cannabis dispensaries to display new health warnings. Now, McHenry County State's Attorney Patrick Keneally announced in September that cannabis dispensaries in McHenry County would be required to warn customers of potential side effects of the use of cannabis. Those side effects, Keneally says, include psychosis, depression, and suicidal ideation, which means thinking about suicide or holding it on some pedestal like it's some great.
Yeah, if you got schizophrenia, maybe.
Well, again, that's if you have family that has schizophrenia, if there are those genetic markers within your DNA, it is probably not a good idea to consume CBD, hemp, or cannabis edibles if they are psychoactive, because they are absorbed through your kidneys, like we talked about earlier a little bit. Processed through your liver, and so
hydroxy 11.
Right. And so that makes it an actual psychedelic. You know what I mean? So consuming weed through the lungs, not. It can be, but it is.
It's both ways. Just more than not, if you have a predisposed, like a mental disorder, that's perfectly fine. A lot of our chemical makeup is different than others, and if your chemical makeup doesn't treat you right, mentally speaking, cannabis may not be the answer. At the same token, I only say that as a warning sign. So I'm trying to help Keneally here, but individually and personally in my brain, I'm going, well, maybe it could help, right? Because CB1 receptors play synergistically with your central nervous system, which is your fucking brain. And for you to stimulate that thing or to regulate it, it doesn't even have to be stimulated, it's just regulated. I don't see how it is purely negative, but...
Right. But there have been studies done, and I've been hearing this for years, if you have like schizophrenia, stuff
That's
like
the
that.
one. That is the scariest
yeah,
thing.
you know what I mean? Like
I don't want.
it can trigger schizophrenia within you. You know what I mean? And then you can never be the same again. And that's not cool. That's not worth it. You know what I'm saying?
So I had a family that I dealt with in the cannabis industry for a while. Dad had cancer, ended up passing away. Son, while I was sitting in the backyard talking to Dad about why cannabis was great, the son was like, "It's the worst. It's the devil. It's what made me schizophrenic." And I was like, "Oh shit. I don't know how true that is." But he ended up, after having talks with me, he ended up getting his medical card, and then we started him off on some really low THC, if there was even any. I think I did more mainly CBD stuff to kind of help. But then he ended up getting some THC into the system, and then came back and was like, "You know what? This was not the scary monster I made it out to be." He tried to tell me that he had hallucinations, and he went through this period where he was seeing things that weren't there, and blah blah. I said, "You smoked cannabis once. You don't have this prolonged I'm seeing shit experience. Cannabis is short-lived. We literally know the half-life of it. It's not like it's some whatever, though it might store in your fat cells. It's the efficacy through its digestion."
The thing is, when you have brain disorders or stuff like that, your brain doesn't always work in ways that is normative or that we can tell or even understand. So there have been studies. I'm not saying that those studies are 100% right. I'm saying that there have been studies coming out. Just be careful. That's all that is. But,
I'm with you on that.
I mean?
And we're all
just be careful.
Correct.
Yeah.
We're all individual instances. You may be different than somebody else, but always take the warnings that McNeely wants you.
So these dispensaries will also be prohibited from making false claims that cannabis has any medical benefits. These are in quotation marks in their product marketing materials and online content, which is kind of crazy because, like, if you're an Illinois dispensary and you have spots in McHenry County and then spots in other counties, like, that's just dumb.
It's very. It also, their product marketing materials say that they cannot have any. It says the word "any" right in there, medical benefit, and that is.
And let's see. Dispensaries that have refused to warn consumers will face litigation brought by the state's attorney's office. 2 different warnings will be required to be posted prominently into dispensaries. Warning. Here's the first one. Warning, cannabis use may contribute to mental health problems, including psychotic disorders such as schizophrenia, increased thoughts of suicide and suicide attempts, anxiety, and depression. Risk is greatest for frequent users, one of the required signs says. Now, the second sign will warn customers that the FDA has not approved cannabis for treatment of any disease or medical condition. Keneally, citing the Surgeon General, CDC, and other agencies, said that there is a clear association between cannabis use and schizophrenia. I would say that is
reasonable.
There is an association, and it just depends. But then again, know your methods of ingestion, know your cannabinoids, know your terpenes, do your journaling, understand your medicine, take your health into your own hands. Super easy. Anyway,
Facts.
Just listen to Dave long enough.
That's it. You nailed it.
Yeah. A robust and growing body of research similarly establishes that cannabis can initiate and worsen depression, bipolar, anxiety, and suicidal ideation. If you're in depression, if you're in that and you're not medicated, or you're not, whether you are or are not medicated doesn't really matter. It matters, like, if you're medicated, then you're probably taking steps to alleviate your depression. You're probably doing the work is what I mean by that. If you're not, you may be stuck. That's okay. You can still do the things, but if you're stuck in that, then yes, it definitely can lead to that, because then you're just like, I just don't care. And so that's fair.
Yes. But
it's dependent.
And bingo. That's when
everything's dependent.
When you use this thing as your it's not even your crutch anymore. You're using it as your legs pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's not even an alleviant anymore. You just, I do it because I do it and I keep doing
Yeah.
it. And like, if you continue to stay in a depressive state
Yeah.
and you're still using cannabis, there's a better chance you're using cannabis incorrectly.
Yes.
And there's a better chance with any, it doesn't matter. Any of these psychological disorders, always get cognitive behavioral therapy. Always get into a psychologist and talk to somebody. That can definitely help. But also at the same time, talking to somebody and using something that is an alleviant can be huge. And when you go talk to these people, they're going to try and give you something, you know, medication-wise too.
Yeah.
And anyway, I just...
Do the work.
Yeah,
Do the work for yourself.
I'm scared of a lot of the things that they give people for their brain to begin with. So...
Yeah. Let's see. I don't care about all this other stuff that he said that is garbage. Part of it is like approximately half of recent murders involve cannabis or cannabis-induced psychosis, which that's ridiculous. Driving under the influence of cannabis cases have doubled. Well, yeah, it's because it's 0.5 micrograms. Anyway, following the announcement, Illinois Representative Kelly Cassidy, Illinois Speaker pro tempore Yehan Gordon Booth, former Illinois Senator Toy Hutchinson, and former Illinois Senator Heather Steens issued a public statement calling out Keneally. The four, who call themselves marijuana moms, said the state's attorney carelessly conflates cannabis use with the most complex societal issues and has joined the disinformation brigade. That's okay, fair, but like, I don't care about the disinformation brigade garbage politics. Like, whatever, cool. So to the McHenry state's attorney, the tragedies of violent crime, addiction, mental illness, and suicide can be narrowed down to one oversimplified, unbelievably obvious common denominator. They're all a bunch of pot users, the lawmakers said in a statement. Now, just 2 days before Keneally announced the new requirements, the USDA, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, officially recognized the medical benefits of marijuana and recommended the DEA to reschedule marijuana as a Schedule III substance. I wish they would also recommend that the DEA reschedule themselves out of existence. That would be a great use of the FDA. So the marijuana moms argued that marijuana use has many benefits, including helping people deal with medical issues, and they say that the state's legal cannabis industry has led to economic benefits and reinvestment into Illinois communities thanks to over $500 million in new state and local tax revenue annually.
Taxes.
Yeah, taxes. Wow, man. So, yeah, and then he responded saying basically he's right and they're wrong.
They responded by saying, "You're a duty head."
Yeah, you're a duty head.
They said, "No, you're a duty head."
He's citing a case in McHenry County that went to trial last year involving a man. He was found guilty but mentally ill of first-degree murder, driving under the influence, and other charges for a May 2020 crash near Hebron. Bishop vaped high-concentration THC oil on the day of the crash and believed Howard Stern told him through the radio to veer into oncoming traffic, which he did. I mean, that statement is funny. What happened is not funny. He killed a father of two, and no, okay. Are you done laughing? Because I didn't want to continue. Yeah, I know you didn't see that part.
No,
he killed a father of two and permanently disabled another man. Bishop's THC content was twice the legal limit. That means he was.
The fuck is the legal limit?
0.5 micrograms.
What the fuck arbitrary number is that?
Well, yeah, we've talked about that.
Jesus H.
It's just an arbitrary number. So he was 0.5 times 2, which would be, what, 0.10? 0.10, right?
I'm just so What the fuck?
Or 1.0, or what? Yeah, whatever.
How much do you have to consume to get to that?
I don't know. Hold on. While the story of how Mr. Bishop and the victims... he claimed insanity on the grounds that he was suffering from cannabis-induced psychosis. While the story of how Mr. Bishop and the victims ultimately ended up colliding at 80 miles an hour on a rural McHenry County highway, to be sure, is complex, injecting high-concentration THC into the complex reality certainly did not help any. So he told the marijuana moms to follow the science. And that's that.
He should follow fucking science, dude.
It's
Do you know Raphael Mechoulam?
No, I don't.
God, David Daddy Murray. Just the goats.
Oh,
Raphael
actually,
Mechoulam is the best.
I do know who that is.
Yeah, he's the man who mapped
that's right.
the cell structures. He's a badass.
So, and so that's that. And
I am sorry to the families and that sucks so much. I would also be willing to. I just wish that we knew more of the toxicology that was going on there, because if that man was purely under the influence of cannabis and absolutely nothing else, that would shock the shit out of me.
No kidding.
Also, if he didn't have a mental disorder to begin with, something like possibly schizophrenia or something of that nature, I would also be shocked as fuck. I have listened to Howard Stern a bunch of times in my life.
I was more of a man-cow guy, but
yeah, that's all right.
Go for it.
You know, whoever. He just used to be on right before 106 in Park. There was some great comedy on that stuff back in the day.
106 in Park, let's go.
You remember that?
Yeah.
That was fire. I think that was what it was called. But I don't know. I just don't know that Howard Stern has ever told me to do.
I mean, Howard Stern
like
is still scared of COVID and does not go outside of his house.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to people nowadays. I was just younger.
He has a studio. He still thinks that if he goes outside, he's going to get COVID and die.
So does my grandma.
Oh, sorry about you.
Yeah. Well, I took her out the other day though.
Well, good job.
Yeah, she finally was.
She had fun.
Fuck, the best time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
Let's go.
So Howard Stern, if you want to go out, I'll take you out.
Yeah.
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 I mean, since you're listening.
Yeah.
And stuff. With Ricky Wysocki. You probably together, smoking a doob together.
What's up? Take me to dinner. What's up, Ariana Grande? Take me to dinner. That's what that reminded me of. Howard Stern, if you're there, I'll take you out.
I'll take you out.
Take me to dinner. Yo, what's up, mama? Story number 2, Illinois legislators prepare for a Delta 8 battle. This goes in with the 2023 proposed hemp bill. That's probably going to, I think, this week. It's this week or next, or maybe 1 week in November as well. That's the fall veto session.
There you go.
So during the 2023 spring legislative session, Illinois politicians and stakeholders wrangled over a cannabis omnibus that eventually failed because of a late inclusion and hardline stance to ban Delta 8 products. Since then, Delta 8 advocates and adversaries have been making moves and preparing for the fall veto session and a new Delta 8 regulation bill. The fall veto session includes 6 days, October 24th, 26th, and November 7th through 9th. Okay, so it's coming up next week. During the fall, so this is when they're probably going to pass the 2023 hemp taxation and whatever they call the bill. Taxation and regulation bill. Yeah. So things are going to be changing. During the fall veto session, Illinois State Representative LaShawn Ford is sent to introduce a new Delta 8 regulation bill. In June 2023, state reps, hemp advocates, and Delta 8 business owners convened in the State of Illinois building and discussed bringing together various stakeholders to negotiate a comprehensive plan to safely and fairly regulate the manufacture and sale of Delta 8 and other similar intoxicating hemp products in Illinois. So after the June meeting, Ford, along with Illinois State Rep Keisha Collins and Cyril Nichols, called for additional safety measures, including raising the purchasing age to 21, implementing strict licensing, testing and labeling regulations, and a tax on intoxicating Delta hemp products.
I bet they said something about taxes.
I bet they did say something.
I bet they did.
So here's Verano, Cresco Labs, Nature's Grow, NGW, and PharmaCann. They all supported the original omnibus ban of Delta 8 products, and the hardline stance for a complete ban played a significant role in the disagreement on the omnibus between the Illinois House and Senate. Wow, it's like
the biggest interest groups.
Yeah, the biggest interest groups don't want other people to compete with them, because then they would have to be better, and they might have to lower their prices, because then competition.
Wait, so you're talking about let's only have 16 cultivators and dispensary groups, and let's not allow anybody else in.
You know,
and let's
not just that, but the proponents of the ban argued that Delta-8 is a dangerous synthetic drug and that it needed to be banned to protect the children. To protect the children. And a synthetic drug. Not just like, you know, the trap packs, the mids that you can go out there and they're spray terps and they're THC snow. Don't get that stuff. That's garbage. It's garbage.
What they'd rather you do is buy the High Times Cannabis Cup bags that are filled with their trash.
Just a couple days to get your final judge votes in, because that closes here very soon. Just in a couple days.
Hey, that's your vote matters.
It matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's super awesome. So yeah, again, look for things in the veto session to be happening. You know, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. But there is a new interactive federal map shows how states rely on marijuana tax revenue to fund public services.
Wait a minute.
Hold on a second.
Wait a minute.
So this is from the U.S. Census Bureau. So it's from the government. So obviously. Details the proportion of state revenue made up by marijuana tax money. And in some cases, the figures are eye-popping. Now in Oregon, roughly every $1 for every $20 in the state made during some recent time periods came from legal cannabis transactions. According to the federal data, marijuana taxes comprise 4.67% of Oregon's total revenue in the first quarter of the fiscal year 2023, 4.7% in the first quarter of 2022, and 5.2% in the third quarter of 2021. While Oregon by far relied heaviest on marijuana tax dollars, other states including Michigan, Illinois, Alaska, and Colorado consistently saw marijuana revenue make up at least 1% of state income over the past 2 years.
I mean, we got fucking tollways, so it's hard to compete.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That's crazy.
Unbelievable.
So it also allows for sorting by the amount of change in the state marijuana tax revenue from quarter to quarter. 2023 states such as Mississippi, Connecticut, and New York saw cannabis tax revenue double from the previous quarter, while California, Missouri, and Maine saw between 60 and 90% tax revenue growth. Massachusetts, meanwhile, observed a 33.4% decrease in cannabis tax revenue. That's kind of crazy. That's also where
they were having them issues.
They were,
right?
Yeah, they were having some issues. They had some worker deaths. I think we talked about. That was I can never remember the name of the company. It's the company from Florida.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
The one my friend works for. The one my friend currently works for. Yeah. Anyway.
Yep.
That one. So, and Florida's about to be legal too, and they just sent a bunch of money, $39.4 million. We talked about that. So, basically, taxes.
So what you mean to tell me is that in that veto session, they're going to probably focus more on how they can make more tax money.
Yes.
And they're not so worried about the actual efficacy of the consumable itself.
Yes.
As long as they're making more money, then.
And here's something we've definitely said, but this sums up. In Illinois, for example, officials recently touted the industry's unprecedented growth, and he's not talking about his belt, in fiscal year 2023, with regulated stores selling more than 1.5 billion with a B in marijuana products. In September, stores in the state sold more individual cannabis products than during any prior month. Tax revenue, however, dropped in fiscal year 2023, falling to $420.9 million from a record $435.1. As in past years, Illinois made significantly more revenue from cannabis than from alcohol, which brought in about $316.3 million during the same period. I was talking to somebody the other day who is associated with the cannabis industry, but also has a event space where they have a liquor license, and they said to me that it is infinitely easier and more profitable to do alcohol than cannabis.
Oh
or
my
hemp
God,
or anything
without
like
a
that.
doubt.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Without a doubt.
They were like, I'd rather just have the bar, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, without a doubt. The
cool.
Yeah, the regulations against cannabis are stupid, especially in this state. But this little thing right here, that $14.2 million drop or whatever the hell happened there, seems like people got smart and started going to Michigan.
1,000%.
Or
and
the people from out of state, I bet my ass, actually.
Yeah.
Missouri came on board, so we're not getting that 14
and they're not
million
much
from
better,
Missouri.
so it doesn't, you know what I mean?
Right. But if it's closer to home or
It is
it's at
closer to home,
you would actually be breaking laws if you went from Missouri to get Illinois cannabis
Yeah.
and then back to Missouri. So fuck that. That's purely why it's happening. But it's crazy that they're still able to maintain those numbers with an entire state worth of people getting.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So it's all about taxes. Look to be taxed more. Look to be regulated more. That's what you have to look forward to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, that's that. On to our last one.
Ooh, this is the one.
Yeah. Marijuana consumers who caught COVID. Not that I want everybody has something to say about COVID. This is not going to be that.
No.
This is something that I had heard at the beginning that people who consume cannabis may be less likely to catch COVID. Something about the CBD, ingesting it into your lungs. You know what I mean?
They're
repelling the spike protein, et cetera, et cetera.
There were 3 big cannabinoids. I remember them speaking about at the beginning. It was CBG, THCA, and CBDA. Those are the acid forms. Those are the non-combusted forms of cannabis. So
those are the pre-drugs.
Right.
Yes.
So your average cannabis consumer probably isn't consuming a ton of THCA, CBDA, or CBG necessarily.
Unless they're unless maybe those hash heads who are doing the full spectrums.
And
you should be.
Bingo,
You should
right? And no matter what, even still, while combusting, you still do get the entourage effect. You do get all of what that plant has to offer, including minuscule amounts of THCA and CBDA before you have combusted them into their proper forms. But
final forms. No.
Their final form.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah.
Well, yeah. They're THC proper or CBD proper.
So this came out, and where did I see this? I saw this on like Forbes or something like that too. I mean, this is like all over, but this is cannabis consumers who caught COVID-19 had significantly lower rates of intubation, respiratory failure, and death than people who did not use marijuana, according to a new study based on hospital data that was presented this week at the annual conference of the American College of Chest Physicians in Honolulu. Now, marijuana users had better outcomes and mortality to non-users, the study said, suggesting that the observed benefits might result from marijuana's potential to inhibit viral entry into cells and prevent the release of pro-inflammatory cytokines. The significant decrease in mortality and complications warrants further investigation of the association between marijuana use and COVID-19, a report published in a supplement of the Chest Journal says. That would be the American College of Chest Physicians.
I think there's something to be said, too, for respiratory failure and things of that nature, to have a vasodilator, bronchodilator, something that's going to make blood flow better to the lungs and make air flow better to the lungs. And, it outside of even just the spike proteins and making sure that they're not entering into the cells, it's there's plenty of other benefit, I believe.
Yeah. So I said that authors analyzed records from 322,214 patients from the National Inpatient Sample, a government database that tracks hospital utilization and outcomes. Of those patients, 2,603, less than 1%, said they consumed cannabis. Now, looking at the two populations separately, marijuana consumers were younger and had higher prevalence of tobacco use, wrote the 7-person research team. People who didn't use marijuana had higher rates of other comorbidities, such as obstructive sleep apnea, obesity, hypertension, and diabetes. Cannabis consumers also had significantly lower health complications related to COVID. On univariate analysis, marijuana users had significantly lower rates of intubation, 6.8 versus 12, acute respiratory distress syndrome, ARDS, 2.1 versus 6, acute respiratory failure, 25% versus 52.9%, and severe sepsis with multi-organ failure, 5.8% versus 12. They also had lower in-hospital cardiac arrest, 1.2 versus 2.7, and mortality, 2.9 versus 13.5%. That's doubled.
The reason I got so freaked out, everything was fucking half until that fucking mortality rate, and now you're a quarter.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Holy shit!
I just wanted to make sure I got through all those.
That's awesome data.
Yeah,
that's so cool to see.
So using a 1-to-1 matching analysis that compared marijuana consumers to non-users by age, race, gender, and other 17 comorbidities, including chronic lung disease, the team found that cannabis consumers had lower rates of intubation, acute respiratory failure, severe sepsis. Oh yeah, you said that before, and then I just read that.
Just how? Yeah. How? Oh my God, that is one of the coolest.
They just summarized it. That's what that is.
I'm so cool. Pumped about that, actually. That and to have actual numbers sitting in your face, and it's from a larger group, all right, to have 322,000 or 323,000 and to have 2,500 of them be cannabis consumers. We're not talking about some small study where 50 people come in.
Yeah.
This is huge.
It is huge, and it points to something larger that should be researched more. 100%. In terms of data set, it is a huge number, but it's also a small number. You know what I mean? Like it's big enough that it's not just like a, hey, we asked 50 people if they smoke pot.
It's literally 1% of the American population.
Correct. So which is significant and makes it further study actually possible and probable.
Yep.
So while the study uses the phrase smoking cannabis, it also refers to participants who identified as marijuana users. It's not clear whether the research is looking at smoking cannabis specifically or also includes other forms of consumption such as vaping and edibles. The study's lead author,
Fazi
Sami Siddiqui, did not immediately respond to emailed questions from Marijuana Moment. Hopefully I said that right. If I didn't, my apologies and no offense.
I kind of like that. Fazi's a cool ass name.
Yeah, it probably is. So that's awesome. A 2022 laboratory study from researchers at Oregon State University notably found that certain cannabinoids can potentially prevent COVID-19 from entering human cells. But as doctors at ULCA have noted, that study focused on CBGA and CBDA under lab conditions and did not assess marijuana smoking by patients themselves. As Dave said, if you're smoking the plant, you will get the entourage effect, and you will get you will get small parts of those.
Correct.
If you're doing that. So
correct.
That's why you want to do that.
And that's really neat too for them to say that they studied it with some other cannabinoids that are super hard to get your hands. Well, it's CBDA you can find everywhere, but CBGA I don't know that I've seen that readily available in a ton, but the acid forms of these things were even capable of doing it. And averagely the difference in acid form compared to its final form is like a single carbon atom or a single it's a very small thing. So can that make the difference in binding to them spike proteins? I'm sure it very well could. But when you have depending on what you're consuming, a potential 5 to 10 different cannabinoids hitting your system at a time, including the terpenoids themselves as well.
Don't let perfect become the enemy of good.
Bink. Yeah, I like that.
That's better men than I'm just parroting better men than me who have said that.
Well, and they're some good men. They know what the fuck they're talking about.
Libertarian Tupac. Let's go.
Yeah.
Most consistent guy I know. So during the early months of the COVID-19 pandemic, some cannabis advocates claimed with little evidence that marijuana or CBD could prevent, treat, or even cure coronavirus infection, a claim many other advocates warned was premature and dangerous. There is a lot of uncertainty and I guess I will call it uninformation. There was a lot of information about nothing without saying things, and that's where a lot of the speculation and all the craziness that was going on during the pandemic came from, because they just shoved out a bunch of information, but most of it was, we don't know.
A lot of misused words, and I see them both sitting right here in this thing.
Prevent and cure, and that's
that.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you actually rail against using some words like that.
The word cure is the scariest thing.
Cure. What are we curing?
Well, so a cure, according to how we standardize that in science and medicine, is something that has gone away for 5 years. So to give you something today and say I cured you is a farce. It doesn't have it's not rooted in any reality. Have we gone through condition reversal or symptom reversal? Or yes, there's a very good potential of that, but 5 years for cure. So I hate that word more than anything.
Yeah. You don't cure, you treat symptoms.
You know
what I mean?
First of all, we are a treat first society.
Yes.
And we are all still practicing treatments, right? It says it right on the outside of the doors of the doctors, medical practice. They are practicing. They are trying things out, and because of how individual each one of our anatomy and physiologies is, it is hard to have something that we can go, hey, for you, Aaron, it's CBGA, and for me, it's CBDA, and or it's just CBGA all the time for you and me. It's like, that's not how this works ever, right? So,
I mean, it's like a lot of other things. I think the medical industry is standardized. They try to make it standardized, and that's why they have specialists. But see, going to a doctor, sometimes you have to go to multiple doctors. You may not be able to, but you should be able to. You should be able to find somebody who works for you and works with you. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
It's like anything. You know, they take a lot of data. They have stuff that has been used for centuries or years or hundreds of years, and they go, is it better than this or is it better than that? And it each depends on the person. You have to do 100%. The work, just like you have to take your health into your own hands. That includes your medical health with doctors. You have to do the work. If you don't like your doctor, find another one.
There's so many.
Yeah,
I promise you.
But you know
guys,
what I'm saying? Like, it's up to you as a person to do the work.
Sitting across from patients back in the day, listening to them speak, there was at least 20 to 100 times where I was like, that's the only doctor you can get? Is he the only, are you in a network that's handcuffed you into this? Or
is
what
this
the fuck
VA? Is it Medicaid? What's the deal?
That's the
hard part.
Oof. But, man, that VA was rough sometimes. They just...
Yeah.
Oof.
I mean, and that's just something that's just like, well, again, name me one thing that the government has ever taken over and made better, more efficient, or cheaper. Go ahead. I'll hold my breath.
We're both going to pass out.
Yeah, we're going to pass out.
No.
Quickly.
There's not...
I'm not saying that, it sucks that we're in a situation that we're in with the VA. I'm sure there's people that are trying to do their best, but it gets so caught up in regulations and rules and standards and like anything else.
In my last job, I was lucky enough to work directly above a VA.
Yep.
And I spent many times sitting down and talking to some of these people. There are individuals in the healthcare system, regardless of what company they work for, that are just far more willing to do the work.
Yeah.
They're far more willing to step outside of the handcuffs that they have been presented and are capable of giving the help that is needed at the end of the day. And that is... I hope that you're just with a good doctor, no matter what it is. If you're at a VA and you're not getting the proper help, I promise you there is another doctor within the VA that is possibly willing to help you, right? Like, at least where I was at, from, person to person, you'd find some heart and some passion still.
I just saw this, and I just want to just touch on this at the end of this. Others use the pandemic as an argument in favor of marijuana legalization on different grounds. Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont, for example, said in November 2020 that legalizing marijuana in the state would prevent the spread of COVID by reducing travel to New Jersey. Let's go. You're the man. I love it. That's great. You're awesome. Shout out to Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont in November 2020.
That you are a hero.
Yeah, you're my hero, man. That's awesome.
That is fucking fantastic.
That's so awesome.
Ned.
Man, let's go. I like that guy.
Yeah. And never mind.
Yeah. I mean, well,
Ned.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to go to New Jersey. And that's okay.
Thanks for fucking
You're welcome. A lot of people like moved much. See, the thing is people live in New Jersey and do business in New York, and New Jersey is like the nice suburbs for New York. It's just like where we're at.
I'm with it.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I'm with it. And they made us a fucking phenomenal show back in the fucking 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever the fuck it was. That Jersey Shore was exciting.
Yeah, it's back too, I think.
Shut the front door.
No, for sure. They're all back, including some chick that was only on the first season.
Shut up!
Yeah. I don't know. I heard a thing about it.
My God.
So yeah, since it is October, by the time this is over, Cannabis Cup judging deadline October 22nd. Ooh. Don't forget, because we did talk about it,
Right.
And the award show is going to stream live starting at 4:20 on November 5th, which is a Friday. I'll be definitely for sure to be watching that. Hopefully I had a good time at the Urban Legends Cup in Blue Island, the home growers competition. Going to do that next Sunday. Had a lot of fun this weekend at the outdoors. Shout out to Mr. CBD Chicago, AM/PM Hemp Farms, Beano Hound Genetics, Love Green Culture, most importantly, Chicago Cannabis, DeKalb, the roundtable we had. Look for that. Cropculture.net, supportdopepeople.com. It looks better. We just redid the thing.
It does look so good, dude.
It looks a lot better.
Look at how that's so good, bro.
Yeah. Peace, Love, and Cope page right there, baby.
Hey,
by the way,
this is my intro. Fuck, I hate that thing so much.
Well, because
it's all good. It's fine.
No, it won't autoplay, and it won't play through the site because it's age restricted.
Yeah. Okay.
But they can get to all your stuff. Supportdopepeople.com. Go there. Get a free sticker pack, sign up to emails, check out the newsletter. We're going to be doing dope things. Big things are happening. I got Dave with me. I got Marky. Shout out to all the people that are supporting us. And we're going to do cool things.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's a fact.
Yeah. We love you all. Thanks for this is the first video episode that we've done.
If you are watching us right now.
Yep.
I fucking love you.
Yeah, you're awesome.
I fucking love you.
Shout out to people watching. We love you.
And Aaron's mom, I'm sorry I use so many curse words.
Oh, my mother does not give a shit.
I just,
she'll call me a shithead. She's fine.
He is a shithead, Mom.
I am.
You're absolutely right. And I still fucking love you.
All right. Love you guys. Smoke weed every day. We'll be back next week with another great episode here. And check us out.
Fuck yeah. Love y'all. See you soon.
Peace.
Yo, ding dong, we're done here. Time to go.
Touch it. I want some more of it.